Welcome, everyone, to another episode of A Sister and Her Mister. Today we have Dimple. She is a fellow sister from the Cysterhood who has seen amazing success with reversing her PCOS symptoms. She lost 4 inches around her waist, reversed her hair loss, fatigue, and a lot of her PCOS symptoms, and we're going to talk all about it in this episode, as well as her 30-pound weight loss journey.
Doctor said you got PCOS. Now go on, girl, just lose some weight. Till I took the symptoms into my own hands and reversed them naturally. So I became a dietitian to help my sisters feel the best they've ever felt. Take a step in my direction if you wanna prove them wrong. Take control of yourself. Join a sister and a mister.
Welcome, Dimple.
Welcome.
Hi, Talina. Hi, Sirak.
So excited to have you because I'm sure some of our listeners will remember, we had you on our Instagram live and it was so inspirational. We had so many people watching, so many people commenting that you were so relatable as well as so inspirational for people in their journey. So we just want to say thank you for coming on this podcast, and I think it'll be a great episode.
Thank you. It's because of you guys.
Oh, no.
We're just following what you guys say and, it actually works.
Thank you. We appreciate that. I mean, we put the information out there, but as we always say, we put the information, but you do all the work. So all the credit always goes to you.
Thank you. But I think there will be a lot of thank yous in the video, the podcast.
I guess let's get started with, how did you first find out you had PCOS, and what was the initial diagnosis, and how were you diagnosed and what were you told to do?
Okay. Ever since I was young, I was actually born overweight. So ever since I was young, I was having a lot of problems with facial hair loss, that also the male pattern hair loss. And also a couple of times, most of the times actually, I was having these hanger attacks. But whenever I visited a doctor, they always said it's normal, and they just blamed it puberty. Mm-hmm. They always used to say I need to eat healthy, I need to lose weight, and that's how everything will get back to normal. And the main sign for insulin resistance was always, the dark neck, the dark inner thighs, which was always ignored. And I was always told, scrub it, bleach it. Even though I tried all of this method, nothing
bleaching.
worked.
I can't believe someone said bleaching.
Who would say such a thing?
Well, doctors.
Oh my gosh.
They just say that. Yeah. And fast forward to 2000, I don't know the year exactly, but I think 23, when all of a sudden my periods disappeared for 4 months. As every little girl who will be thinking why her period disappears, it's cause of alarming. They will do every home remedy as possible to get it back. But I did everything. Nothing was coming. Parsley tea, a lot of ginger, a lot of turmeric. Nothing was working. Never it came. And that's when I visited the doctor and I said, I'm having problems with periods. I'm not getting it on time. And that's when she just prescribed me a progesterone tablet for 15 days. And she said, you will get it after this. And if you don't get it, come back to me. And I didn't get it. Surprisingly, I visited her again. And then she refused to do ultrasound and kept blaming me for the weight.
You should have blamed her. Hey, you gave me this pill for 15 days and nothing worked. Maybe you should have blamed her for that. That's so unfair.
It was very, every consultation with the gynae I ever had was always emotional. I always used to cry. And I remember when I was 14, 13, when I got my blood work done, I used to do it every year. My testosterone was always very high. And the doctors kind of said, it's normal, it's puberty. But later on, my hormones were very messed up after I took this 15 days birth control pills. It was so messed up that, my hair was even losing a lot. I was having a lot of acne on my face. I was just gaining massive weight around my midsection, a lot. And they were just saying, stop eating carbs, stop eating, chocolates and everything. And then finally, after back and forth with her, she did an ultrasound and she said, oh, you have polycystic ovaries. And I said, what does that mean? She said, well, you're fat. And this is what happens if you eat a lot of McDonald's, KFC, French fries.
Oh
yes.
My God.
And she made me believe that it was all my fault. And She prescribed me, as usual, birth controls and metformin without testing my glucose tolerance as well.
Mm-hmm. It's so exhausting when things like this happen, because you almost wonder if the gynecologist has any idea about the mechanism of PCOS and why women with PCOS gain weight. Because if you know about PCOS, you would know that it has to do with metabolic hormones, cortisol, insulin, and these things being high, whether it's from genetics or from the environment you're in, or even from over exercising or not eating enough. This can affect the hormones that affect your ability to have a metabolism, a proper metabolism, and be able to just lose weight naturally and be your natural weight. I mean, I feel for you how it's like it was so turned around and you were made to feel like it was your fault, like you ate McDonald's when you probably didn't.
Yeah, like it's just like putting the blame on you as if you're not trying hard enough. It puts you at a very like big disadvantage, because it's like it demoralizes you and makes you like not almost want to try because someone is saying those things to you.
Yes, I agree with you. She didn't want to accept the fact that this was genetics. This was like basically when I sat down and I was like, okay, tell me what's PCOS. And she's like, oh, well, it's just, when you eat too much, you get it. I'm like, okay, it doesn't solve my questions. And even like the exercise, I was over exercising every single day, all sorts of workout, CrossFit, weightlifting, but the crazy weightlifting, not the ones that you're saying.
Yeah.
I did everything, cardio, yoga, and, yoga in heat, because Dubai is always in hot weather.
Yeah.
I did everything. I starved myself. I went on fasting, but nothing worked. Nothing ever worked.
Did it make you feel better a little bit, or did it like make you feel worse as you did those things? How did it feel day to day?
Horrible.
Oh, really?
Very exhausted, ending up, taking naps. My nap used to be like 4 or 5 hours because I couldn't move. I was so exhausted.
Wow.
And then coming to the end of the month, not even like a centimeter out of my body. It's just the same. And I kept gaining weight. Mm-hmm. That's when I changed my doctor and I went to another one. And it turned out my thyroid levels were very high. And that's when I was like, you know what? I give up. My life has ended. I can never have a good life again. Because again, they made me believe all of this was my fault. Mm-hmm. My family, my friends, everyone was like, just lose weight, everything will go. There was even a gynae I visited last year who told me, you need to lose 30 pounds, go insane biking, in the gym. You get these bike, what is that called? Bike classes, something for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, the spin classes.
The spinning,
Yeah.
Like 1 hour, 2 hours, do that and you're going to lose weight. 6 months, I need you to lose 40 kgs and then come back to me because I'm not going to treat you.
Wow.
And I was like,
yeah, that's what they do sometimes. They say like, I can't treat you unless you go lose weight.
And they don't even tell you like a real way. They don't
tell you how to
just
lose weight.
Just like spin classes.
They have no idea how to even treat you if you did lose weight, because they don't know how to help you lose weight, because if you're losing weight with PCOS and your symptoms are getting better and you feel good, then you're treating your PCOS. That's treating your PCOS. Weight loss isn't like the precursor to that, So by saying like, I'll treat you when you lose weight. No, you have to know how to treat me so I can lose weight is the answer.
And the funny fact was when this last year, I was almost kicked out of the clinic because I spoke like this to her. I told her, you don't even know what is PCOS because you're just blaming me. She was like, my A1C levels were 6.2. And then she told me it's all normal. But when I was checking online, it was diabetic.
High. Yeah,
it was very high. And she was like, it's normal. Stop eating sugar. Okay, I stopped eating sugar. Nothing helped me. Nothing at all even worked. Even when she was like, you need to quit salt. I even quit salt. I mean, my meals were bland. They were horrible. But I tried everything. And in that month, instead of losing, I gained 2 kgs.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been so frustrating. And like, I'm so glad you like stood up for yourself, and like, just like the story of you almost getting kicked out. Like, that's like, it's sad that you have to fight for your health that much. that the doctor almost going to kick you out of the clinic because you're literally showing that person real data from online that shows like, hey, this isn't really good. So
Maybe
yeah.
you can go back there and teach them how to manage PCOS
When I
if you
have
have the
no
patience.
cysts, yes. When I have no cysts left, you guys are coming to Dubai. I'll invite all these doctors.
Yes.
I'm gonna have a party.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
need to
let's do
educate
it.
them.
We'll do a conference where we teach the doctors.
You know, I wonder, like, when they learn about PCOS in school, like, what are they learning? Is this how they're told to treat their patients? Because from my experience and what I'm hearing right now, there's absolutely no education on PCOS, just absolutely none. Did you hear about that sister who took Ovasitol and finally got her period after a year of not having one?
Incredible. I see those kinds of messages on Instagram a lot. How does that even happen?
Well, Ovasitol helps with healing insulin resistance, a common root issue that most PCOS sisters have. And by targeting insulin resistance, we're seeing sisters kick those crazy cravings, finally regulate their periods, ovulate, and improve their egg quality. Each packet of Ovasitol has a 40-to-1 ratio of myoinositol and D-chiroinositol. This ratio is similar to the ratio that should be found in the body, but with women like me who have PCOS, this ratio is often imbalanced. So, taking Ovasitol can be super effective in treating insulin resistance, starting from the root of the issue.
So awesome. It tastes like nothing, so just warn me when you put it in a cup so I don't drink it.
You got it, boo. Check out the link in the description to get 15% off your order.
A friend of mine is studying medicine in school, and literally the PCOS page is just one page that tells you what's to be prescribed and what should she do. I don't know much. I didn't understand like most of the language in the medical schools, quite difficult. But she told me, see, this is your cure. And the doctor even told me, if you're not going to take these birth control and metformin, in 2 years' time, you will get ovarian cancer.
Wow.
Without checking my ovaries. Yeah, without even checking my ovaries. She's like, you're fat, you're very overweight. If you don't lose weight, this is the problems you're inviting. That's when I was going on to natural treatments that we see on YouTube. Also another scam.
Yeah.
I did everything there. Every single video is watched by me. I tried every single way. I tried, having all sorts of diets, keto, everything, but nothing worked. There was even once I asked the doctor, does dairy and gluten have any effect on me? She's like, no, I don't think so. And she just changed the topic and said, lose weight. That's the only thing they say you to do. And they give you a diabetic chart, meal plan. And when you follow that, there is high amounts of gluten and there's high amounts of dairy and there's just no sugar and low sodium. That's what they think the ideal diet should be.
It's so outdated.
I'm so surprised because there's a lot of research that shows that going gluten and dairy free can help with thyroid disorders. And if you had hypothyroid, I'm so surprised that she didn't realize that when you mentioned gluten and dairy. Because I mean, at least that, come on. People, it's online. You can Google it.
Yeah.
There are the research studies.
And some of those food charts are so outdated and it's so corrupted, like how those food charts are even made in the first place, all those recommendations. And people forget, like doctors, they don't have much education in nutrition. Like when they're going through school, even though they go through like 10 years of school, they only take maybe like 1 or 2 classes that even talk about nutrition. So they don't have any like education on it. I mean, there are great doctors out there who will actually recommend working with a dietitian who actually has experience, who knows like exactly how to eat for certain conditions. So like if it was a good doctor, they would at least recommend that instead of just telling you, oh no, just like use a chart, follow this chart and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Even after following that chart, you will end up gaining weight. I gained weight so badly that I was 138 kgs.
Wow.
I was very bad. And they again started saying, oh, maybe you are eating McDonald's in the middle. You're eating fried food. You're eating sugar because you're no sugar. Your body is not adapting to the change. And I was like, just 2 words, get lost. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us what turned it around, because I'm sure our listeners can totally relate to your story and feeling really confused and distressed and blamed. So let's pick up the positivity. How did you turn the ship around?
The positive way was you guys, just 2 nights before my staycation, I was praying to God, like, get me a page of PCOS, get me someone that can help me and everything. And that's when he sent me 2 angels. That's you both.
Oh,
Thank you so much. That's so nice.
you're so welcome.
I cannot thank you guys enough. I brag about you guys with my friends, my family. Everyone's mouth is open when they look at me right now. They are so
That's
shocked.
amazing. And now and the people like you're praising, now you're on our podcast. You can show them, hey, look, I'm on their podcast. Cause I think more than us, you're a great inspirational, great role model for other sisters who are going through this. So I think that's like the most important thing is like, yes, you found us, but through finding us, you yourself have become a role model for so many people who are going through a similar situation.
Yes, but all the credit goes to you guys for providing information that is lacking in this world. And also, if how can I start? The first biggest thing that is about dairy and gluten, what it's doing to your body and what it's doing to your condition is Tylene helping us and telling us I think every month there is her talking about why gluten is bad, why dairy is bad. So that's, enough for everyone to understand why these things are really bad for our condition.
What helped you get started? Like when you found us or when you started doing the program, what were some of the first steps you took that you immediately saw some benefits from?
First was the discover your PCOS type. Doctors don't even know their types.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have no idea what the root causes are in the first place. If they knew, they could help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's when I discovered all the 4 types were in me. And slowly I've managed to bring it to 2 types now. So
Nice.
all the 4 types was thyroid. My thyroid disappeared. My levels are completely normal. My neck, my throat is all normal. It's not swollen like before. The first step was gluten dairy free. And I just had to say a big no on the day my mom made this bread for me. She was like, oh, try this bread. I made it for you. I said, no, I'm done with this gluten and dairy. I don't want to have it.
That's the hardest part, right? The hardest part is when if your mom or your family starts giving you like gluten or dairy in the first few days, and you have to kind of start to be like, no, I'm not gonna have it right now. Maybe I'll have it later, but not right now.
Then they get upset and offended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it hurts, but I stopped that. I usually before I used to always wanted to become a vegan person, like avoid dairy, avoid animal and stuff. But chicken is amazing. I cannot stop. So I stopped milk. I stopped cheese. I stopped everything that day when I discovered your video on YouTube saying why gluten dairy is bad and the insulin resistance symptoms. That video. I was still doing insane amount of workouts, but I was feeling energetic. I was waking up because before I could never even leave my bed. I'm just like a lazy potato sitting there. But after that, when you came up with the video, how to lose weight with PCOS and 30-minute long, I just started doing that for an entire month, 4 times, 3 times a week.
Oh, the workout. Yeah.
All of that, like 45 minutes. And I was not even feeling tired. I was feeling, I feel great. Unlike before, my trainer told me hopeless. He told me you need 2 hours in the gym, 1 hour cardio. And my cardio was only like 10, 15 minutes because I couldn't do it much. And now it's a game changer. When he saw me after a month losing 7 kgs in a month, just by working out simple workouts with simple weights that you can get anywhere. And 7 kgs dropped. And the plating style of Tylene, also the whole gluten dairy-free lifestyle, caffeine-free lifestyle. It made so much changes. I saw no acne on my face. I have lost weight. My dresses start fitting me better. That's how the positive changes came to me. And that's when I decided Cysterhood. I joined Cysterhood in January, and I'm not going to leave it.
Amazing.
Well, I'm glad you're in this Cysterhood because really, really soon too, you're going to even get more and more like helpful tools because we're like developing the app right now, which is going to really give you everything you need on your phone as you like go through your day. But it's really amazing how you went from the 2 hours, like your trainer telling you 2 hours at the gym, to just 30 to 45 minutes per workout, 3 to 4 times a week. And then even someone telling you, okay, eat less and you lose weight. Instead of that, you're focusing on how to actually set your plate up so that you're actually setting yourself up for success. Like, these are really sustainable ways. And I think, yeah, I mean, what do you think, Tanya? I feel like it's like really treating the root cause of insulin resistance, inflammation, and those are all, you can tell all of those from the symptoms that you've improved.
I feel like you have accomplished so much, and it's almost easy for you to continue doing it. Wouldn't you say, like, for the rest of your life, would you ever go back to not doing these things?
No, actually, I prefer sticking to gluten and dairy free than gluten, because I remember every time I used to go out or at home, I used to eat something that had gluten and dairy. I would feel so horrible, bloated, pukish, stomach upset. I used to feel all of that. And, again, the doctor would blame it on my weight and used to tell me, go for a surgery. I'm not sure how you pronounce the word, but that surgery, yes, that surgery. She was like, you need to go on that surgery so you lose weight and get rid of PCOS even after the surgery. That made me laugh at her face. Again, I was almost thrown out. But I cannot stress upon this topic, how gluten and dairy helped me so much that, hunger attacks are become like 10% of my entire day. I don't get hungry every 2 hours now. And the meals in Cysterhood is not all about, starving yourself. There is a good amount of protein, carbs, fiber, fat, everything that is enough for your body to absorb.
Yeah, it's really important to balance your plate. And I'm so glad that you're doing it, because yes, you can cut out gluten, you can cut out dairy, but it's really about how much carbs, protein, fat, and fiber are on your plate. Because if you're not eating any carbs, or if you're eating too many carbs, or if you're only eating chicken, throwing it in your mouth and then like rushing out the door, this imbalance makes a really big difference in your body's ability to naturally lose weight and move and work. And like, the next time you eat something, it'll stick to you. It'll be so much harder to burn off because your metabolism is slow and it's not moving. So it's just great that you found that balance. And I'm sure your like mind and body have gotten used to it. So now for me, like when I eat out, now we're traveling, it's not hard for me because I know what the plate should look like. And I know, maybe something's missing. Maybe I need to order a side of vegetables or something. And I can maintain that balance and maintain my weight because it's part of my lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, you guys should totally come to Dubai, maybe for a week.
That would be fun.
I think we will. And we're for sure going to hit you up, and maybe we'll go out to a couple of dinners. And well, speaking of that, do you find it like easy or hard adjusting to the lifestyle in Dubai?
Well, we have restaurants right now that are serving gluten-free bread, dairy-free options are like quite insane now. Suddenly everyone has adapted to it. So it's actually very easy. Sometimes when you go to a restaurant, okay, we have chicken kebab sometimes. So they give you a plate of rice with it. So again, I stick to Talin's plating method.
Yeah.
And I take a picture and I post it on Cysterhood telling like, oh, this is my meal today. So, if you know how to stick to your plating and you follow whatever is given on Cysterhood, life becomes so much easier. You don't even overeat, you don't undereat also, because you have that much that's required in your body.
Yes, absolutely. And it's really interesting how so many places are now offering gluten and dairy-free options. Like we've been in London for almost 2 weeks, and I can't tell you how many spots that we go to. It says GF and DF on so many like things like next to them. Like we're like, why is so many places doing this? Like
it's amazing.
It's like, are people waking up like that?
I think so. I mean, the way that they're manufacturing wheat products and dairy is evolving and getting so much worse, and people are getting sick. And they're realizing the effect that it's having on their body. And I think it's great. I mean, we just went to a gluten and dairy-free lunch spot and it was delicious.
Yeah.
And like in the middle of a really popular street. I mean, it seems to be a popular thing here in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw your story today. It was a pancake with coconut flour and almond flour.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's a great example of like a balanced plate. Okay. Like I ordered that because it was gluten and dairy free, and the waffle was made of almond and coconut flour. So I was like, okay, so it's like lower carb, high fat, because coconut flour and almond flour don't have a lot of carb in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so it's going to be like kind of a higher fat, and it does have carbs.
And then you had like a
breakfast.
You had like a poached or 2 poached eggs next to it too.
I had 2 poached eggs that I asked on the side to pair with it. And then the jam on it had no sugar in it. It was just like cooked raspberries with chia seeds that they drizzled on it. And then some coconut yogurt next to it. And then like half a banana that they mashed onto the plate, which I thought was so cute because I was like, oh, good, because I didn't want the whole banana. So I was like, this is great. Like now I know how to balance. I mean, at this point in my life, like I know how to balance my plate. I'm eating these waffles. It's not going to be a problem. I'm not going to gain weight over it. Here we go. Like we're just continuing the PCOS friendly lifestyle.
I agree with you. Even here, there are times when you are not able to find this gluten, dairy-free things. Mm-hmm. And there are times when you're forced to eat that. That's when is the hardest part. And that's when you have to tell yourself, if you're going to eat this gluten contaminated food or dairy contaminated food, you are going to be in a bad space right now. You don't want to, rush to the washroom. You don't want to have pills in your mouth because you are having stomach ache or something because of it. So that's when, is the strong part. You have to stick to, okay, give me a salad that has these options in the side, because it's quite easier to, take the gluten, dairy food, put it in your mouth, but then hours later you feel regret. You feel all the side effects that you don't want it. Yeah. So that's when, you just have to say, no, thank you. I will stick to my salad.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely experienced that a lot where I'm not ordering exactly what I wanted. Like I'm not in the mood for beef tartare or like salad. Maybe I want a sandwich, but it's not gluten-free. And I've just had to be like, okay, whatever. I'm going to have the salad. I'll have a sandwich tomorrow somewhere else.
Yeah. And it's like those small wins that make you feel really good, that add up, that kind of like when you achieve those small wins, it just makes you feel so good. And it makes you like want to do even more and more for your PCOS.
Yeah. The better you feel, the more you can stick to it.
Also, if you have supportive people around you, like you have Sirak and me, I have my sister, my mom, they were not understanding this whole gluten, dairy free. And for my mom, I told her, let's just sit together and watch you on Cysterhood. We went through the whole success path together.
Nice. Amazing.
And that's when she understood, okay, my daughter needs it. So now wherever she goes, she leaves her shopping in the side. She's like, oh, this gluten free? Is this dairy free?
I love that.
And
that's so sweet.
Even like my very closest friend, he also is like, whenever I'm taking something that has gluten, he will just pull my hand. He's like, no, you're not allowed. Just stick to gluten-free, dairy-free things. You're not allowed to take it. And then he just like, oh no, it tastes bad. So this is the support. This is the support you needed. And then the journey becomes easier.
That is so beautiful. Like I just like you saying that about your mom, your sister, how like your mom is like so into it now. And it's a lot of times when you just help them learn about why. So like in your case, like you showed like in the Cysterhood, we have a whole success path learning section. So when you like show that learning section to your family, they can finally like start to see, okay, look at this real science-based information. This is exactly what's like hurting me with PCOS and what I can do. Once they start seeing that, they're like, okay, this all makes sense. I need to help her. So like, I'm so glad you were able to do that with your family.
A lot of parents feel like, what do you mean gluten and dairy free? We used to eat fresh milk from the cow and we always had bread. Like, how could this be bad for you? This was a staple in our lives growing up, and I guess it's really important to educate them on how food has changed.
Yeah.
And it can affect our metabolism. And I tell my mom this because she used to be like dairy intolerant when she was younger, but because it was like fresh milk from the cow and nobody thought it could possibly be bad for you. So they'd force her to drink it. because nobody was educated on things like this, on science, metabolism, hormone health. So she was forced to drink it, throughout her childhood. And she like still remembers how it like made her feel so sick, but nobody thought that it could possibly be bad for you because it's milk from a cow, And so now it's like, I'm so glad you can show your mom that. You can show our videos to anyone and they can easily understand what's going on. Who's going to deny it? We're talking about science and facts and what's happening to people. And we have so many stories about it that it's like, you can't just be like, no,
Yeah, so true.
Yeah. When I even go to a doctor now, like last month was my last time I visited them. I told them like, this is Ovasitol. I don't know why I didn't talk about Ovasitol. It's like a bae. It is the best thing on earth ever created for us PCOS girls. It has helped me so much, so much. I cannot thank that person who created that. And when I tell them that is the natural way to heal and everything, they just deny. They said, no, natural never works. No, medications work, science works, but they're not looking into the science of Ovasitol. They're not looking into the science of gluten, dairy, caffeine, the worst. Caffeine makes me feel very itchy that I started noticing. Whenever there is a coffee hangout with my friends or family, I always opt for decaf, or I just go for decaf tea. It helps.
Decaf gang over here. Me and Tyne are both drinking. I'm drinking decaf coffee and she's drinking
decaf English breakfast.
Yeah. So absolutely.
Today I went and bought a lot of decaf teas. I just threw my green tea that had a lot of caffeine that I've been drinking since I was 13. And they used to make me drink 5 times a day, saying it will lose weight. It will lose weight. But they don't. I don't know how dumb I could be that time that I never knew caffeine is also bad for us. Yeah.
How would you know? No one really even talks about that either.
Yeah.
I really don't see that, cutting out caffeine. I don't hear other people saying it. It's so unfortunate because we have this, women with PCOS, we struggle to bring our stress hormones back down. So once we pump them up with caffeine or intense workouts and things like that, it's a problem for the rest of the day for a lot of us because now we have anxiety and we don't know where it's coming from. And who would think that it's coming from green tea? Green tea is marketed as this like relaxing drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can totally see where you were confused at the time. I mean, everyone is.
It's like caffeine is like marketed as such a natural thing, part of society, and like
Starbucks in every corner.
Well, happily we have things in Starbucks coming in that is gluten-free, dairy-free, and caffeine-free. Like we have a new drink called Forget Me Not, and it's all caffeine-free. It's all dairy-free, and you ask for dairy-free milk, of course, but it's all good. As long as normal, like small. Sorry, it's a big company, but small areas of the companies that are thrown away in the city are providing you caffeine-free options. Things become very easier. I understand if some people are not able to get decaf anywhere. And I know some countries that cannot provide decaf coffee or tea because they're very small. That's when they have to opt for, natural, like a ginger lemon tea or rose tea, rose hibiscus tea. That's when it actually helps because they're all actually so good for our body that they only, market as green tea is the best, but it made me worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you tried Ovasitol too, because like you said, a lot of times people think, oh, it's a natural supplement, it's not going to have the same effect, but they don't realize like there's science behind natural remedies, behind natural supplements. Like this is literally nature's own supplement, its own prescription, because it's coming from nature. It's made of vitamin B8, and like studies are showing how this improves insulin resistance, how it improves all these PCOS associated symptoms. So glad you tried it and it's working great for you. I'm sure like it's helping with cravings and just like those hangry attacks you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. It does help me a lot. I hooked my friend up to Ovasitol, but she's taking it in a very bad way. She's not stopping gluten, not stopping dairy. And then she says, oh, it's going to help me stay away from hunger, but which is wrong. It only helps your body to stop having these really bad cravings towards that. You cannot control it. If sometimes I don't have Ovasitol all the time with me during dinners or lunchtime. That's when I take a tea bag of spearmint tea, and like spearmint tea works also like magic.
Yeah.
In 10 minutes, the cravings go away. So it's just the 10 minutes you have to, be strong and hold your body to avoid the cravings. Otherwise, a lot can happen in the 10 minutes.
That's true.
I know it. Yeah.
Well, it's a great mentality, though. It's a great mentality. Just giving yourself some time and some grace to kind of see if you're really hungry, or if it's just one of those like cravings. Because if you are hungry, you should eat. But if it's just a craving that you feel like, okay, I need to like stabilize my blood sugar, I need to find something, then if you can't do that, then that's great.
Yeah. Tell us what your favorite recipe has been from the Cysterhood that's helped keep you satisfied, full, and like kick those cravings.
Okay, a lot of them, but my favorite snack is seed cycling brownies, the ones that are like made out of dates and pumpkin seed. And I have also the Ovasitol pops that are in my fridge right now.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and smoothies, a chia seed pudding, protein waffles that you have made out of gluten-free flour. I sometimes, when I'm not accessing that, I use buckwheat flour, and it tastes actually better than the ones we get outside. And also there are recipes about egg bake. It's my favorite when I'm not in the mood to make my chia seed or I forget. So egg bake is the thing that helps me in the morning. Also, there are so many recipes. I also like the mahi mahi. Instead of fish,
Ooh, I like that one.
Always
Love
replacing it with chicken. And your new recipes like the lime chia pudding. It's like a turquoise green color.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love that.
Oh, good.
I know we've really been focusing on adding more and more recipes, especially as of recently. Like our plan is to really up them in terms of like what more we can like add in, how much more fun we can make them. So right now we're like minimum, we're adding 10 recipes every month. So like we're really growing the library of recipes so that anyone can at any moment grab a recipe and just like never get sick of them because there's so many in there.
I honestly can't stop adding throughout. Like, I think we're going to always add 10 recipes a month, I hope, because anytime I see something on Instagram that tastes good, I'm like, we have to make a gluten and dairy-free version
or
of
if
this
we eat out,
the Cysterhood.
like we ate paella in Spain and we're like, okay, let's add this to the Cysterhood.
Exactly. We added paella. There was something else. I forgot what it was. Just the other day, I wrote it down.
I forgot.
But anytime I'm inspired and I'm like, that looks delicious. I'd love it if it was gluten and dairy-free. Boom. Yeah. I put it in the Cysterhood.
Even the ice cream that you have posted on the snack side. Yeah, it's so yummy. I cannot I have through my ice cream that is gluten dairy free and I'm sticking to this ice cream. It's just when, cravings hit, you just need these things in front of you. Even sometimes when I'm out with my mom and I'm craving suppose something random out of nowhere. And my mom is like, Tylene suggested you this. If yes, go for it. If no, no.
That's so funny.
Oh my God. Say hi to her for us. I wish I could
She loves
meet her.
You both. She's always thanking you guys. Always God bless you guys. Honestly,
Aww.
you guys have saved me so much. I cannot thank you guys.
You're so
we
welcome.
really appreciate that. You're very welcome, and we appreciate those kind words. And again, it's all thanks to you as well for all the amazing work that you put in. So that's great. I guess the last thing I want to ask you is, because I'm sure many sisters are looking for this type of motivation. What keeps you going every day? Even let's say you have a bad day, or let's say maybe it's hard to sometimes be on top of everything. What keeps you going? And what makes you just want to even if you've had one bad day, what makes you want to get up the next day and just start that day the right way again?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, if you're seeing progress in yourself, you don't want to miss that day and go back to that day that you were feeling horrible, helpless, and feeling like you have no answers to your questions. So one bad day is okay, but if you're going to keep taking that bad day and ruining every other day, it's going to ruin your hard work. So always listen to your body. If your body is not in the mood to work out, don't work out. Just go for a 10-minute walk after lunch or after dinner, because it really helps.
Yeah.
And also, stick to your diet, stick to your lifestyle, because what you're doing is your future will thank you so much for it. And sometimes there are times when you say like, oh, my weight is not going. Look at the progress of what you were before and look at the progress of what you are now. You don't want to mess anything and you want to stick to it. Yeah, the last thing I want to say, stick to what Taline and Sirach say and join Cysterhood.
Thank you. Well, that's amazing tips right there. I think just focusing on the positive, and if you are seeing those improvements, that in itself is great motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. We're so proud of you and your progress, and you're such an inspiration. And we can't wait to hear more good news from you in the upcoming months.
Yes, absolutely.
But I might be annoying you guys if I keep posting every single day.
No,
every single day. Tag us.
Seeing your
we
posts.
Want to hear every single part, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Go in the Facebook group and tell us everything.
No, but like honestly, we love seeing your posts on Facebook. We're always in the Facebook group. I know almost like week by week, month by month, I've seen your progression, because I remember when you initially started posting and you were looking for improvements, and like, at first it was a little bit difficult, and then you like really progress like along, and like I've really seen that progression, and like we're so proud of like all the things you've done. And like I just remember seeing all your messages in the Facebook group, and it's such a great thing to see how you're thriving right now. And the Facebook group is just for that, the community aspect, helping each other out and just helping each other progress along. So keep doing that, and I think other sisters will especially appreciate that too.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be part of Cysterhood.
We live for your posts and everyone's posts. Every post like of your meal, feel free. Like, oh, I'm eating something from the Cysterhood, take a picture, post it. Like we want to see all of it,
For sure.
Thank you. I will do that.
Absolutely.
And
thank you so much for being on this episode. Thank you so much for joining this podcast and just sharing your experience. Shout out to your mom as well for like being so supportive of you and being
sister.
And your sister as well. So I guess that'll be it for this episode. Stay with us, Dimple. We'll talk after this ends. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, sisters, for listening in. We'll be back next week with another episode. And just remember, you can also thrive with PCOS and just take it day by day, just like Dimple did.
You can do it, sisters. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you have to come check out the Cysterhood. It's my monthly membership site where sisters just like you are learning how to move through the stages of PCOS. From stage 1, cold and alone at the doctor's office, to stage 5, nailing the PCOS lifestyle, gluten and dairy free. Get ready to finally feel in control of your body again.